Ladies and gentlemen, from yesterday, 13th of August until 18th June 2026, ladies and gentlemen, for a very long time, Jupiter will now be in the nakshatra of Punarvasu. And guess what? Punarvasu is the nakshatra of Bhagwan Sri Ram. Jai Siya Ram. Please don't forget to write Jai Siya Ram in the comments or Jai Sri Ram, whichever you like. So now we know that Jupiter gets exalted in the sign of Cancer and Punarvasu Nakshatra. First three padas start in the sign of Gemini, and then the last pada, which is the fourth pada, goes into the sign of Cancer. And after 18 June next year, 2026, Jupiter will enter Pushya Nakshatra. And at 5 degrees of Cancer in first pada of Pushya, Jupiter finds its peak exaltation, right, in the sign of Cancer, which we will discuss some other time. But Punarvasu is a preparation for the nakshatra of Pushya. Okay, so it is a junction nakshatra. It is like 75% is in Gemini and the last 25% is in the sign of Cancer. But why is it in between? Like, why is a part of it in Gemini? Why is a part of it in the sign of Cancer? What's the reason? And why does Pushya come after Punarvasu? And why does Punarvasu come before Pushya Nakshatra? This is something you have to understand. Okay. Without understanding this, you will not understand what Jupiter will do in the sign of Gemini or in the sign of Cancer in Punarvasu and also in Pushya. All right. So, therefore, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the thumbs up if you enjoy this content. And for personalized horoscope readings, please proceed to my website. You will find it down in the description section. God is there with you all the time. Just look to Him and you will find Him, and for sure, very soon on Janmashtami. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, Punarvasu Nakshatra is a very, very, very important nakshatra because it is the birth, it is the Janma Nakshatra of Sri Ram. Of course, not the Gemini side, it is the Cancer side because Sri Ram had moon in Cancer in Punarvasu. But nonetheless, you need to understand that Rohini and Punarvasu are very special nakshatras because Rohini on the other side is the Janma Nakshatra of Sri Krishna himself, right? So now, why is Punarvasu so special? If you see the basic traits of Punarvasu, they indicate something which is a bit on and off at times. This is what people think. Okay, at a first glance, this is what it appears. And people don't like to do things on and off, right? Like for example, if you go to do something, what do you want? Do you want that it happens at the first shot, or do you want that, oh, there are delays, it happens again, again, and again? Nobody likes it, right? So therefore, to think that you will like the traits of Punarvasu Nakshatra is not correct. Okay. And just because you don't like them, it does not mean it's a bad nakshatra. And Punarvasu, as you know, is ruled by Jupiter himself. Okay. So Jupiter is entering his own nakshatra. Very, very, very important. So now you need to understand Punarvasu Nakshatra. Punar means coming back. So Punarvasu Nakshatra at one level signifies many things, like spiritually, materially, it signifies the true nature of the material world. What is the true nature of the material world? Well, it's dukhalayam ashashvatam, as Sri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, right? Now, what is dukhalayam? Now, how is it related to Punarvasu? Well, it's certainly related because when you die, you come back again. And you may think, oh, yeah, that's natural. What's the big deal? Well, there is a big deal because you've been doing this from many, many, many thousands and lakhs and millions and billions and trillions of lifetimes. Okay. Unlimited number of lifetimes. And then you may be like, okay, so what? I'll come back again. That's fine. It's a circle of life. Well, that's not how you should think because Krishna in the Gita also tells us how you can get rid of this birth and death. Okay, so Krishna says, at the end of life, whatever you think, that state you shall attain without fail, O son of Kunti, right? So this means Punarvasu Nakshatra is indicating the fact that although we are coming back again and again, But if we look towards God, if we do spiritual practices, if we try to purify our consciousness, if we try to elevate our consciousness, we can go back to the spiritual world if we think of God at the end of our life. But if you don't do that, you will keep taking birth again and again and again. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Okay, so now you may think, oh, but everybody does it, so why not me? Because it is miserable. Okay, birth, old age, disease, death, birth, very painful. We don't remember our birth, but it's very painful because, through that narrow canal, the body comes out, the baby comes out, it's very painful. It's a very, it's a very uncomfortable experience. Okay. And then, of course, birth, old age. You know what is old age, right? We have seen old people. Disease. We have got diseases before, and now maybe some of you are diseased, and many of us may also get diseases in the future. Birth, old age, disease, and death, as the scriptures explain. At the time of death, we experience a pain which is equivalent to 40,000 scorpion bites. Some say 10,000, some say 40,000. Either ways, doesn't make much difference, right? So therefore, Punarvasu Nakshatra reminds us that, hey, Mr. So and so, Mrs. Miss, whoever you are getting hammered through this painful process every time. Okay, so then the question is, when Jupiter enters Punarvasu, what can happen? Well, whichever houses Jupiter rules in your chart, according to your ascendant. Okay, so for example, if you are Sagittarius rising, then your Lagna Lord, your fourth Lord. If you are Pisces Lagna, then your Lagna Lord, your 10th Lord, any ascendant. Okay, so depending on any ascendant that you are, you need to understand Jupiter will rule two houses, Sagittarius and Pisces, number 9 and number 12. So these houses will undergo a similar flavor like Punarvasu. But that's not the thing here. That is something very obvious. For that, you don't need to watch this video. You know it already. So, for example, if Jupiter is your 10th lord, something in career can be on and off, on, off, on, off. It's like life, death, life, death. That is happening. You are getting fired, you are getting a new job, again, you are getting fired, till June next year, 18 June 2026. But that's not the lesson. That's not the intent. No, that is your position. That is the situation that you are in. But the lesson is that in these two areas means the houses with Jupiter rules, those two areas, you have to do something by which you can stop this cycle of birth and death in that area of life, at least, if not for your overall life, your whole material life, but in that area of life. So, for example, if Jupiter is your 10th lord, it may be there may be a situation in your life where you lose your job, or 10th house is more of your status. So there could be some loss of status, there could be demotion, defamation, something. But you again find a job, again there is some problem, again you lose it, again and again. So this might indicate, depending on your Mahadasha, Antardasha, this might indicate, or rather it certainly does indicate, that you are doing something which you should not do. So it is like you need to get mukti from this particular job cycle. So you should become self-employed, or you should become a business owner, entrepreneur, solopreneur, whatever. Do something of your own. Okay, so if Jupiter is your Lagna lord, then it can mean that something related to your body is happening on and off, and maybe there are certain things which you have to leave permanently. So if Jupiter is your Lagna lord, which means you are a Pisces Lagna or you are a Sagittarius Lagna, then it can mean that you are you have some habits which are detrimental for your health. Okay, and you are going on indulging in it again and again and again and again and again and again. And when you are doing it, what happens is you feel like dying again and again. So you have to get rid of it completely. Okay, so apparently Punarvasu Nakshatra seems like something is happening on and off again and again, but no, it's a call for permanent action against something. Okay, because unless you leave that which is making you miserable, you have to understand that this on and off situation will continue. Okay, so therefore, please check your horoscope, please check your Mahadasha, please check your Antardasha, and by that you will actually know where, like from the ascendant, you will know which areas will be on and off. Okay, and the dashas and the overall chart will tell you what you should do. So, for example, if you are running a Mahadasha and Antardasha of a planet which is associated with the second, sixth, 10th, and the 11th, or any of these four houses. Okay, so suppose you are running Sun Mahadasha. Okay, so let's say you are running Sun Mahadasha, which and Sun is placed in the 10th house. And now you are a Sagittarius, you are not Sagittarius, you are Pisces Lagna. Okay, so for Pisces Lagna, what is happening? Jupiter is Lord of the first house and Jupiter is Lord of the 10th house. So now your Sun is in the 10th house in Sagittarius and Sun Mahadasha is going on. So now something to do with body and your career is on and off. So either you have to leave something related to your body and your profession. So now, because your 10th house dasha is going on, which means Sun as a planet in the 10th, his dasha is going on. So now it is like a permanent call. You have to become self-employed, something like that. Okay. Now, if Sun is in your, if suppose, Sun is in your 10th house, but Jupiter is lording your 6th house, then maybe you have to shift a job domain. Like you are not meant for staying at a particular job domain, or you have to change. You might again have to become self-employed, because 6th house generally shows jobs, but it can show your daily work also. Okay. So therefore, please understand that Punarvasu Nakshatra is the nakshatra of finalization, and Jupiter, as you know, is the karaka for optimism, right? So Jupiter will give you optimism, it will give you faith, it will give you inspiration to delete certain things from your life. If you don't delete it, then what happens is you will be very miserable. You end up feeling I have become like a football, like they say na Trishanku. Okay, Trishanku was a personality. I hope you know who he was, right? So I will not get into the story, it will become very long. So therefore, at the end of the day, please check the lagna that you have. Please check the houses that Guru rules. And once you check that, then you will know which areas will require a permanent deletion from my life. Okay. And what are those areas? For that, you need to check the dashas. Okay. And sometimes there will be contradictory things. For example, like Jupiter will be your seventh lord. Say you are Mercurial ascendant. Okay. You are Gemini Lagna or your Virgo Lagna. Then Guru is your seventh lord. Either ways. So then now Guru is your seventh lord, but suppose you are running the dasha of the 10th house. Okay, as I said, in this case, you are now you are running Sun Mahadasha. Suppose Sun is in the 10th house, you are Gemini Lagna. Okay, so therefore Jupiter is your seventh lord, but here the 10th house dasha is going on. So now it will again be career, but something related to relationships, because Jupiter is the seventh lord. So this means it could be like you have to end some relationships with your colleagues, with those people who are speaking bad about you, or you have to end something at your career which is related to collaboration, or mergers, acquisitions, partnerships, and all this. So you might have to end some partnership. You might have to join some new team. So that is how you will know exactly. So combine the lordships of Jupiter in your chart as per your ascendant, and combine your Mahadasha and your Antardasha. Then you will exactly know what is happening. Okay. So please understand, this is not a bad transit. This is a very good transit. And initially, Gemini will be active. And then, of course, there will be activation of the sign of Cancer later on. Okay. Therefore, don't worry. Try and see what you can delete from your life permanently, and then you'll become happier. All right. Or else you will keep going on and on and on in the same cycle, and you will have no relief. All right. Thank you so much for your patience. Don't forget to share your comments down below. What do you think? How this will impact you? Or maybe since last 24 hours, if it has already started impacting you. All right. So for personalized consultations, you will also find my website down in the description section. God is there with you all the time. Just look to him and you will find him for sure. Sure. Jai Siya Ram. Jai Siya Ram.